I can tell you I'm going to need a lot more of this. Welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 4 of Rocky Mountain High.
Rocky Mountain High.
So I'm so chuffed with that intro. It just works. Anyway, welcome. There's been progress. Things are happening, as you can see. Chemical etching works. It works really, really well. I found the biggest problem I was having was I felt like I couldn't see the actual images, the relief, if you will. And the biggest change I made was just adding a little bit of black paint. I just squeegee it on, and then it stays in the recessed areas and makes everything pop a lot more. Looks great. I'm really, really happy with the results. This is my 1.9 Pro Mod F toy, Formula Toyota. It's a Toyota-based truck. And it's really coming together nicely. I'm very pleased with the progress. What's changed since the last time? Well, most of the panel work is done. I still haven't done the top front panel, and I haven't done one of the other side panels. But you can see I've got the whole Duff livery. Where's the shiny part? There it is. I got the whole shiny Duff livery done on the side there, number 77 for the year I was born, which is feeling so long ago. God, I'm old. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. I think that turned out spectacularly well. It's not perfect. I noticed now that the side that I'm putting all of my resists on actually has like a really fine brushed kind of like striation throughout the metal, and it's actually allowing some of the acid to actually seep under the mask and resulting in some dark spots. So not exactly perfect, but you know what? Practice makes perfect, and I'm getting there. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I'm learning so much, and I'm just really, really pleased with how this whole truck is coming together. We are dangerously close to actually getting on a plane and going to Colorado, where we'll be competing in the We RC Rock competition. I'm reading the rules right over there. Wheeled Extreme Radio Control Rock Buggy Competitions, and their mission statement with the rules. And we'll get into those rules in a moment because I got a message from one of the organizers. All in good fun though. Anyway, and that's coming later. But what I really wanted to talk about today was how much left there is to do. And to be honest, there's not much, but there's things I'm waiting on. JEC has shipped my mounts for the F10T axles, so we'll be able to swap those on soon, which will really help because without those, I can't build this truck. And I can't run it this way either because you can't run a centered pumpkin with a VFD. So I really need that offset front pumpkin so I can get the proper axles on here so I can get a drive shaft attached to this front. Yeah, so there's really, that's key. I need that. So hopefully those will show up soon. Motor has been installed. I'm running a Hobbywing 2300 kV brushless 2-in-1 censored ESC combo thing, mostly to save space. It is a really great motor though. I love it. A minor trimming required to the skid plate in order to get that to fit properly. Not a big deal though. It's been done a billion times. You can do it too. The interior is coming along very nicely. I'm not sure how much you can see. I'll get some cutaways so you can see them better. But I've designed this whole inner tray to hold both 2 seats and a dashboard and some pedals and stuff, just to kind of really flesh it out and make it look like an interior. I have to hide all the wiring and everything, so this has done a really good job of doing that. I left enough space underneath, and you can see there is a little tiny gap right there, and that's where the wiring will go and route around so you won't see it. And then I've got this nice little battery tray that I designed on the back here. Not this, that's That's the fuel cylinder. But this is where my little battery will go, my receiver will go, and that's basically it for electronics. It's a very simple setup, and I'm keeping it simple. I've been told that I need dig. So I've got a request in to get that dig unit for the VFD. This isn't a VFD twin, it's just a regular VFD. So I do need that Hertz dig attachment, which of course I haven't compensated for in any way, so I'll be redesigning this interior piece again. But yeah, once that shows up, and I should mention also that this is just a prototype on the interior. There will be a second, or maybe even a third interior, because I forgot to account for some of these tubes and cross tubes and stuff. So I needed to make some indentations, which will help sit this thing properly. It's sort of like, it's angled in right now and just kind of crammed in there just to make sure it was going to work. But I am designing a cover for this battery tray. It's going to look like sort of like a, you know, like a toolbox or whatever, something you would expect to see on a truck like this. And I'm just going to use 2 M3 screws to keep it in place during the run so I don't lose my battery. I'll still be Velcroing the battery in there, so no harm, no foul. I designed the dashboard to work with the actual VFD twin, and I designed my own set of shifters to kind of complement this whole look and make it feel as if it's part of the actual interior. I think that looks pretty good. So yeah, there we go. The list has gotten shorter, but it's still quite long. What do I have to do still here? I have to print another seat. I have to figure out a driver, because one of the rules that got mentioned most recently was the driver has to be separate from the seat. So most of my guys, they're all in sort of the 8-inch category. I mean, Stan Lee, he's a bit smaller. He's like a 7-inch guy, but he's still too big for this truck. He's quite floppy. Help me, I don't have any hips. Hi. So he's supposed to go in there. He won't quite fit. So I think I'm going to have to get myself a 6-inch action figure and then print my head again in a slightly smaller scale. Or maybe I'll keep the scale. Who knows? Big head me. That's going to have to happen still. What else do we need? JEC mounts. I've got to swap the axles. I've got to contour the leaves. That's something that I've talked about in my Marlin video. If you kind of grind away the edges of the leaf packs where they attach to the shackles, you'll actually get a bit of rotation horizontally. So that'll help with flex, basically, because this thing is a flex monster. Oh my God. Look away. It's almost too much flex. That's got to happen still. We've got the motor in. I've got to program it to the MT12. I'll be using the Radiomaster MT12 for this. Dig units on there. Interior's almost done. And just one more panel to etch. And then this, 2 more panels to etch. And then this is almost finished. I feel like there was one big thing that I was forgetting. I'm staring at it, trying to figure out what that thing was. Oh yeah, I have to, since I don't have my own media blasting cabinet here in this small workshop, I'll be shipping off both cages to Teleguided in Montreal, where he's going to lickety-split get them done and ship them right back to me. So I'll have them probably middle of next week. I can focus on electronics this weekend and refitting some of these designs, and then assembly next week. And then they should be close to being done. I feel like there was something else though, like a bigger thing. Oh yeah, that's right. There was one thing that I did do this week. It's pretty simple. I wanted to make sure I had some sort of anti-wrap bar. So what I did was I got some links here, and this one's not attached right now because these axles are going to come off anyway. But I just kind of built these links to kind of help reduce the amount of axle twist or axle wrap. When you get kind of bogged down under an obstacle, the axle wants to spin because of all that torque. And when that does that, your leaves go like this. they turn into spaghetti. So I've added these 2 links. Again, this one's not attached, but I've added these 2 links so it'll help prevent that from happening, because it can only rotate so much before this prevents it from doing that. Hopefully that works. It's not exactly perfect, but it's good enough for now. Still allows movement up and down, of course, and side to side, but rotational movement, it does resist some of that. Yeah, so there you go. That's where, hey, there's that screw that fell out of that link. This is where the 1.9 Pro Mod is at. I'm really quite happy with the fact that I've been able to hide all of the electronics on what is very much a bare bones build. There's not a lot of places to hide things, and the fact that I was able to do this so far is significantly good work for me. I've learned an awful lot, not just in this chemical etching department, which actually, you know, this panel still looks pretty good too. It turned out pretty neat. But I've learned so much, not just the chemical etching, but so much about Fusion 360 that I really feel like my skills in that program just keep getting better and better and better. The fact that I've been able to build all this myself is significant, and I'm pretty chuffed. All right, let's move on to the even cooler looking one, the Jimmies. The Jimmy legs. All right, I am so excited about this 1.9 Unlimited. Josh and the rest of the guys on Discord are absolutely killing this. It's such a fun build along. And while I don't really participate much in the Discord, I'm learning an awful lot from them too. And if you missed out on this build along, Josh will be offering these files once the build along is finished. But I highly recommend you get involved in the next one that he does, because these are great. What a great way to learn, what a great way to share, and what a great way to participate in this awesome hobby. I will be doing the next one too, because this is really, really super fun. Now, there is still a ton to do. I've got my next Send Cut Send order in, and that's going to be for all the inner panels to kind of close up some of these gaps. It also includes the motor plate that Josh will not ship to me for whatever reason. And that should wrap up everything from Send Cut Send. There's also the servo plate for the VFD Twin and all of the shifting responsibilities it's going to be doing, of course, because this has shiftable overdrive and shiftable dig. Now my links are the right lengths. Everything before was kind of messed up, and both of my servos were at very strange angles. I re-looked at all of the dimensions that were required, and it seems for some reason I didn't do it right. I know, me and numbers, usually they go hand in hand. You can see that I've got some copper panels on here. It was always my goal to have the wheels and the panels match. And of course, I'm doing the chemical etch technique on these as well. And I've gone with, yeah, that says Waffle House. I've done a Waffle House livery. I don't know why. It's not a Waffle House, it's a Waffle Home. Many things to still do, including creating my own top shaft with, thanks to Discord, some very handy STLs that I'll be printing out in the next couple of days in order to cut down my shaft. Get your mind out of the gutter. A lot of electronics have to go in still, but I've got them all and they're ready to go. BEC, Silent Assassin ESC, Holmes Revolver V2. Both of my servos are in here, and now we need to talk about the color of the servos. Yes, they are brass. And yes, brass has to be painted so it's not brass. I did talk to one of the organizers, and they did remind me that that was one of the rules. My argument for that rule was, well, you're going to have other people using servos that are probably blue anodized or red or gray or silver, yet somehow these are being excluded. And while it sounds like a great argument, and it is, I am going to stick to the letter of the law with the rules, and I will be covering these up in some way so you cannot see that they are brass. Probably going to just be some vinyl stickers, but you know, I want to do my part and set an example for the rest of you who might be participating in events like that. But if you don't feel like doing that, I would say my argument is pretty valid. All right, so what do we got to do still? Lots. Paint this brass paint this brass, finish all the body panels and etching of all of those, get this cage sent to teleguided so he can do a media blast on it. All of the electronics, finishing the motor mount, getting some of these panels done, redoing some of the panels on the motor, and actually I've got some of those here already. I used some copper filament, and it's just a copper colored filament. It's not an actual metal filament, but using the bamboo AMS, which allows for multicolor prints, to come up with some cool little additions there. So that's going to get added in. Where's the other piece? I've got it around here somewhere. Here it is. I did decide to call out Harley Designs. I mean, he did a good job on this, so gotta give him some props on that. We'll also redo all of the tube work. We'll do that in copper as well, so it'll all kind of go together, if you will. But yeah, looking really good. Looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this truck. Everything just seems to be going together, and that's the beauty of this build along. It's supposed to go together that way, because everything's been checked and double checked and corrected and fixed. And Josh is doing a great job of managing that. It's an awful lot, but he did it. And he also built this one for me, which is great. So there you go. That's where we're at. The clock is ticking. I got a lot to do still, but I think we're on our way. Yeah, this is good. This is very good. Which one do you think is looking better? Do you like this sort of more extreme buggy, or do you like these more sort of like homemade style? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I try to answer as many of those comments as I can. And of course, if you're enjoying this video and you like this series, and you want to see more scratch-built trucks, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Alright, I think that's going to do it. I've got a lot of work to do, including editing this video before 1 o'clock. Oh man, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.